Great. So welcome back to class, guys. In last class, we were able to talk about we discussed table relationship, and we're able to do that in detail. Quite unfortunate I've not been able to upload that video, but I'll do that tonight. We understood table relationship very well because we had a lot of examples that we used, which actually helped us a lot. So this is the schema. We're able to understand how the schema work, how table relationship work basically. Whenever you upload a table to Power BI, how they are connected and how they function. So today we are going to talk about dashboard, but before that, I want us to quickly look at DAX. So DAX is simply is a way of expressing, or let's say calculation is a way of adding calculation to Power BI, because sometimes you may want to do some calculations. You may want to maybe have a new column or a new row in a table. So you can have a new column, you can have a new row. For example, in Excel, if you wanted to create a new row, a new column, you put the column title, right? Then you're going to now calculate what is going to be on the table. Then you write it, and then table automatically forms. Sorry, the new column automatically adds in the column in the table. So here it is the same thing. You can use that. Maybe you have a sales table that has the revenue generated, the profits, the whatever. No, it doesn't have profit. Maybe you want to find a profit now. And you know that your profit is your revenue minus your maybe expenses or your sales. So you need to write a formula that says profit equals to the revenue, the money you generated from that sale minus the price of that product. So Power BI has that feature to allow you actually write anything you want, because what you may want to achieve may not be directly on the data set you're working with. So you need a formula to generate or kind of. So let me see if I wrote something on it. DAX stands for data analysis expression. That is the full meaning of DAX. Data analytics expression. So it's a formula language used in Power BI to create custom calculations for measure, calculated column, and calculated table. So these are the three major things that DAX does. You can use it to create calculated column or measure or calculated table. So I'm going to get to that shortly to explain that what they mean. But these are the three basic things you're going to be using DAX to achieve. Whenever you call up DAX function, it is either you are creating a calculated column, or you're creating a measure, or you're creating a calculated table. So calculated column simply means adding a new column to a table based on a calculation that you've done. Just like I've told you for sales data, we want to create profits. So we are going to say profit is going to be the revenue that we've gotten, that is the amount we sold that in, minus what? Minus sales. Maybe the expenses. Let's say you have an expenses and you have a revenue. So it's going to be revenue minus the expenses, okay? Then you have your measures. So measures are simply creating a formula, like saving a formula. For example, you want to get the total sales. So you don't want to see a situation whereby anytime that you want to see the total sale, you now start going to click on sum. So you can just create a measure that says total sale. That's the name of that measure. You keep it one side. So anytime you want to use the total sale, instead of recalculating it, you just simply call that your saved measure. Don't worry. We'll get to Power BI shortly and you understand what I'm saying. Then calculated table. This one is not common. You hardly want to create a calculated table, except on some rare occasions where you need to talk about dates. So calculated tables are a new table that is created out of an existing table. Just see it like that. So DAX helps create new information from data that is already in existence. So whatever you're creating with DAX, however you want to create it, just know that it is going to come from the existing data you already have, which is the table that you already have, okay? So look at the three DAX functions that you know. Use it to create measure, use it to create calculated columns, and use it to create calculated tables. I think I've talked about measure. Let me just, say a little more things about it. Measure for aggregation that are related based on. Anyway, don't bother yourself about this. So we'll get into Power BI and you. So this is how to create measure. The formula is that you put the name of that measure. So this is going to be the total revenue. So what is the total revenue? It's going to be sum of revenue. So each time you want to know the total revenue or you want to use it, you don't have to start putting this formula again because you already have a measure that handled it. So all you need to do is just to call on that measure and that's it. So the next one is calculated column. It's just the same thing like I've explained. So if you want to have other value, you can say sales times. So it's always a formula. That's why it is called calculated column. So it is going to, it's a column. Each column has several rows, right? So it is going to perform this calculation row by row and fill up that column completely. All right, so this is a conditional argument. Maybe we'll try it out. Let me look for a data set that we're going to use. Then calculated table is the same thing, but this is not really rare. This is not really common. So now this is important. How do you write that? DAX syntax. So you're going to start with the equal sign when you're writing a DAX function. So you're going to put the name of that DAX, what you want it to bear. Maybe total sales or maybe profit, that's the name. Then equals to, you have to put equal to before you now start writing the formula. All right? And it has all of these things, the function operator. So don't bother yourself about it. Let's go to Power BI. So these are the different functions in DAX. I have the aggregate function, the logical function, the time, the text. So aggregate function is the most common that you're going to use because you're definitely going to be using sum, average, count, max, mean, all of those. Then the logical is if, and, or. Then text, concatenate, replace, all of this. So let me take you to Power BI so that we can stop the talk and get to work. Oh, we don't have our data. I think we've lost our data. Let's just bring it in again. I don't know which data we can use. Okay. Uh, I'm going to give the assignment. Should I bring in that data set? So when, let me select this. Okay, so I'm going to transform. So our data should be clean. So let me load. Let me just load. Let me assume that everything is good. So if you look here, you're going to see our data has been loaded here by the data side. All right. Let me, it's still loading. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, so we have our data loaded. We have our data loaded. Here you can see. Um, Now, if you look at this, you can see this, there are signs, there are symbols before each of these are the column names, like the column heading. So you have this symbol of calculation, aggregation. That means you can perform calculation on this. It means it contains numbers. You can perform calculation. Let me bring out table. You already know all these visual, right? All these are visuals. So you remember table, when you bring out table, this is a table. So let's see what this costs. If you take it and put in the table, you can see that it has numbers. You can see it has numbers. So whenever you see this, it means you can perform aggregation. Then whenever you see this calendar kind of symbol, it means it's a date. All right. Now, dates usually, Power BI usually store dates in hierarchical order. So if you see here, you can see that as a drop down. If you drop it down, you're going to see the hierarchy of the dates. It will start from day, it will start from months, sometimes even week. See the date hierarchy. When you open it, you can see it start from day, month, quarter, and year. Now, this is not how it is. This is not what was imputed. The dates were just normal dates, but any date that comes into Power BI, you're going to see broken down into day, months, and year and quarter. That's why I told you that if you want to create a calculated column, a calculated table, most of the times, if your date doesn't have this hierarchy, you can create the hierarchy. So you're going to create a new table called the date table inside this other table here. So, but here our own is there already, so you don't need to create it. So most times, it will just come in like this. You don't have to create. But if it doesn't, then there may be need, especially if you have data or if you have KPIs that you're going to need the date table to work on. All right. Maybe you have a KPI that wants to calculate sales over time, or the particular sale that was made is a certain month, then you know that you need the month. So you have to do it. So now let's talk about DAX. Let's say I want to get the total sale. Okay, let's say I want to get the total revenue, okay? So we are going to total revenue. Let's bring in another table so it can make sense. You can, let's say the cookie type, no, the customer's table, customer load. So we have this here. We have the customer table as well here. You can see. Okay, so maybe we want to know which country gave us um cost. Let's remove this cost. We want to check each of the country. We'll put the country in here. So this is going to check all the countries. Now, when I put this country here, you can see it is showing just United States, but I want it to list out all the countries for me. So I'm going to come to this place, expand it. You can see it say don't summarize. Yeah, don't summarize is actually correct. Okay, so let's tell it what to do with country. What do you want to see? We want to see revenue generated per country. So I'm going to carry revenue and put here. You can see, we can see United States. Is it that United States is the only country there? Let me see. Don't summarize. Okay. I think it's only US. So is that correct? Only US. Okay. I think it's a US data. So the country is only US. You can see all the customers are from United States. Okay, that's good. So we want to know the total units sold. Um, Let me try Siri. Or let's try by customer. Let's try by customer. So we need to get in the customers table as well. Maybe I should have gotten another data set for this. But I just want us to use the one that we're already familiar with. But maybe in next class, I'll try to bring a different data set so we'll have variety. We know how to tackle different data sets. So let's say we want to know, let's open the customers table. Oh, I brought in this one twice. So you can see I brought in the customers table twice. So it doesn't make sense. I'm going to remove one. So I'm going to click on delete from model, and that will be gone. So I'll go back. I'll go back and get, we have order, we have customer, so it's key types. All right. So we load. Okay, that's great. We have everything we need now. So let's see the cookie type. Which cookie type is selling, is giving us more revenue? So I'm going to put cookie type in this table. You can see the list of all the cookie type. So if you don't like this table, this is another type of table. I'll change it. You see, they are the same thing basically. I don't know if you can see my screen. I made it bigger. So look at it. You can see my screen. So
Yes.
these are the different cookies. So maybe we want to know the revenue that each of these cookie gives us. So we'll just bring in the revenue and put it here. So you can see that revenue per cookie. So we cannot use the revenue here. Rather, we're going to use the revenue from order because this is where the actual order happened. This one is just the cookie type, telling us each of the cookie type, but the order, we are looking for revenue, which is sales, the profit that was made, then we'll put it here. You can see that this is now a summary of each of these. You can even use any of this chart. Let's say you want to convert it to, column charts. You just click on column charts. So it is not working. Maybe there's no connection between these two tables. That could be the problem. So you have to come to our model. You can see that we are right. There's no connection. So this is cookie type and this is product. So can just put this here and then put cookie types to products. Then yes, confirm that yes, one to many, single, then click on save. So now they are connected. You can see that. So let's go back. You can see it has fixed the problem. Can you see the magic? So imagine if I didn't know what the problem is. I'll have just, said that this data is wrong, but data is actually correct. But it has given us what we want. We can change it to this one. You can see So clearly we can see that oatmeal raisin is giving us the highest revenue. So this revenue, we can put the data label. So you can edit this chart now to remove, just like we did in Excel, to remove unnecessary details and leave only very important details. So you can clean it up, remove all of these things. So when you want to do that, make sure this is highlighted. Then you come here, you can see this is where you can edit this thing to any level you want. So this is the y-axis, the vertical axis. I don't want to see the values. The values are gone. The values are back. So the values are the name of the bars, which is necessary. I'll leave it. I don't want to see title. The title is gone. I think that's all here. Then we go to the x-axis. We don't want to see the value. Yeah, we don't want to see that is this number, because for we to get, we can't get the accurate figure. We need to start tracing. So I'll remove this. I'll remove this. You can see our chart is now clean. So if you come to general, you can see the title of the chart, which is this one. You can just open it. If you don't want the title, you can turn it off. But the title is very, very, very important. So you leave it. Just that you're going to modify it. Look at the name, sum of revenue by cookie type, which is correct. So if it's not correct, you can change it here. If you want to write something else, you can just type, and then you can see that it's at the edge. I want to bring it to the center. Just use this one to align it to the center. And now our chart is looking good. You can see this is looking great. But something is missing. The numbers, we need to know which, okay, we can see even without being told or without seeing number that chocolate chips is the highest. But what is the actual figure that it is generating? So we need to now go and turn on the data label. Look at data label here, just turn it on and you can see the numbers are there now. So we have actually answered that question or analyzed the data. So this is how you're going to answer all the questions that you need to answer or analyze. So next, we are going to look at DAX. DAX function. Now, that DAX we talked about, for example, let's say we want to have, let's remove all this. Now, let's say we want to have, which one do we start with? Which one do we start with? Let's start with measure. Let's start with measure. So you see, of all of these things, now if we want to calculate the total profit, let's try. For the order, we know our revenue, we know units sold. How do we calculate revenue? It's going to be the revenue minus the units sold, right? So that's going to be the profit. So we want to have our profit at a glance, like we just want to have it, even though we can calculate it here. If I want to say the profit now, say this minus this, right? Sorry, cost is going to revenue minus cost is going to give us our profit. So instead of writing a long DAX that can do that, we can just create a measure. And to create a measure, all you need to do is just to come here, click on these three dots here. You can see new measure, new column. Can you see that? New measure. So if you click on new measure, you can also see that on top here, new measure here. So once you click on new measure, it's going to bring up this formula bar for you. This is the DAX formula bar. So automatically it will give it a name, which is measure equals to, remember the syntax equals to. But you're going to change that measure to what you want it to be. So what we are looking for now, what we want to have is profit. That's the name of the new measure. So if you look at here, you're going to see there is nothing like profit here already. So but I want to put in profit. So I'm going to say profit. This is the new measure we are creating. So what is this profit going to be? So it is going to be revenue, but this revenue now is under which table? Here we have how many tables? Can you check and tell us how many tables we have or we're working with? Can anybody let us know?
TV table.
Yeah,
TV table.
obviously. So it is three tables we are working on. Now, to write your measure, you have to know the table you're working on. So the table here is other table. Inside the other table, we have revenue. So when you start typing revenue here, just start typing revenue. You can see revenue, but now you need to follow the path because there can be revenue here and there'll be another revenue here again. Let's see. I think there's even revenue here in the cookie type. So I've not finished writing it. That's why it's giving me this warning. So let me go back and finish it. So you need to tell it that in the other table, the revenue. So I'll say order. Oh, sorry. Sum. I want to put the sum. I'll click on sum equals to sum the revenue. So this is the revenue. That's the revenue inside the cookie type, this table, and there's a revenue inside the other type. So we'll choose the one in the other type, this one. The sum of the revenue. Don't close it yet. The bracket is still open. Minus uh cost. So the cost here. So the cost is inside the other table, right? It's going to the other table. Oh, sorry. So this is the sum. Then we come here, go to order, the revenue in order, then um minus the cost. So, but it has to be the cost inside the order. So we're going to close this. Then minus sum of the cost. So the cost is inside this other cost. So I'm going to close this other bracket as well. So we are looking at the sum of the revenue minus the sum of the costs. That is going to give us the profit. So when I hit on enter, that applies. So we now have a column called profit. So if I bring out, what should I bring out? Let me bring out KPI card. Let me bring out card. So we want to see what is in our profit. So if we just click on profit now, this is going to calculate our profit automatically. We now have profit. Our profit is 2.72 million profit. Did anybody understand what I did? So I now have a measure called profit. There was no profit here before. I created a measure that says this is profit, but this is actually wrong. I'm just using it to show you how to create a measure. The proper place to put this profit is in column, calculated column, because profit is going to calculate profits row by row, one row by one row. Like this is what I mean. If you come here in the table, so we are going to have another column here called profits.
Yeah.
So that to calculate this minus this will give you row by row, like row by row total. So this one that we have here now, what it did is, remember the way I wrote it? If I click on it now, you see the formula. Sum of revenue minus sum of cost. So it will add all the revenue. It will add all this revenue. To add all of them first, then add all the costs, then minus the revenue total from the cost total. That's how we got this one, which is a long process, okay? So I'm going to remove it because it doesn't make any sense. So let's now write measures that make sense, all right? So let's say we want to know total units sold. This is the unit sold for each column, unit sold. So we want to know the total units sold of our products. Like we want to know the total unit that was sold. All right. So this one is different. This unit sold means all the units that were sold. So I'm going to create a new measure. I can just click here to create a new measure. Then I can just say, I want to know total units sold. The name of it, this one is going to be total units sold. So what is it going to be? It's going to be the sum of units. Go to this, sum of units sold. Then hit on enter. Is either you close the bracket or you hit on enter, it will still close the bracket for you. So let's see the total unit that was sold. You can see we now have a new, but it is not correct. It shouldn't be here, it should be here. It should be here because I didn't select this table before doing it. So let's see if it is right. One total unit sold is of course is correct. So, but the position is wrong. So remove from model. So for me to put it, this is where it's supposed to be. I will make sure I click on that particular table that I want it to be in. This is a table here. I'll click on this table, then I can now click on new measure. All right. So if I create a measure, it's going to be in this table, or I can click on these three dots and click on new measure. So our new measure is what? It's going to be total units sold. Total units sold equals to sum of the total units. So what this formula will do is that it will go into this unit sold. Let me go to the table. It will come to this unit sold. Where is it? Okay, unit sold. It will add all these things from A to Z and then give us the total. So let's bring out our card and see what's inside. You can see 1 point. It's still correct. So, but I just wanted it to be here so that it will not go and be because the unit sold we are calculating is here and not here. So each time I want to, if I didn't do this measure now, whenever I want to calculate the unit sold, I'll have to write that formula every time. But now with this, I don't need to write the formula again. Each time I want to use the total units sold, I just simply use it here. It's already here in a column. So I don't know if you understand measure, how to create measure. Does anyone understand it? Let's
Yeah, I
proceed
do.
to calculated column. I'm just going to be fast. Maybe I'll do just one example, then we move on. Or two, let's do two examples. So we want to have, look at this table. We want to know what the profit is. But just like we did before, we don't just want to calculate all the profits. No problem. You watch the video, Precious. So we don't just want to calculate the total profit, just like we did before, which was wrong. Now we want to calculate it as a column. So we need to add a new column here. So you can see, you can come here. We want to add it. This is where we have the revenue and the cost. So we want the measure, the new column to be here. I'll click here. You can see new measure, quick measure, new column. You can click on new column, or you can just come here and click on new column. So I've clicked on new column. It is still going to be DAX, but you see the column has been created already, but there's nothing in the column. It's now waiting for us to tell it what to do or what to add. First, we have to start by giving it a name, right? You can see the name is column here, column. So if we change it, we come here and change it to profits. See, it's going to change also. But before it changes, let's now tell it what to do in this profit. What should be here? What should be here? What should be here? What should be here? So one formula is going to fill up this table for us. What is this going to be? It's going to be revenue minus cost. So this is going to be revenue. Just put the revenue. You can see revenue minus cost. This is the cost. So take note of how this thing is going. It is going to be, this is the revenue, but is in the other table, is the revenue in the other table. Don't just put revenue there, because you can have revenue like here, you see, we still have revenue here. We'll have revenue here. So it is the other table first, then the column name. So once we hit on enter, automatically it's going to do the work. You can see it has filled up the table for us. It has given us a new column now, the profit column. So if you now come back, you see this thing, the profit column has been added. Look at it. It has been added. So you can now use it to do the analysis. Maybe we want to see the country or the product that's giving us the highest profits. So let's try to see that. Let's use this table. Let's just bring that table. Let's put product, cookie type. So we'll put cookie type here. Then we'll put profits. So you can now see which one is giving us the profit. We can convert it to a chart. You see chocolate chips, of course. Since chocolate chip has the highest revenue, let's even check if it is still the highest quantity sold. Since it's giving us the highest revenue, let's see. If we bring out a new table, we want to compare, because since it is giving us the highest profit, we want to also, let's not assume that it is the one with the highest units sold, but let's use facts. So I'm going to put this here and I'm going to check the units sold. So let's convert it to a chart. Oh, that's correct. That means this chocolate chips is giving us the highest units sold, and therefore, since we are selling more of it, there'll be more revenue. Let's do that on revenue as well. Well, I'll be sure it also has the highest revenue. So this is the cookie type, and this is the revenue. Let's convert it to chart. Obviously, chocolate chips is giving us the highest, people are buying it more. It is giving us more revenue, we're generating more money from it, and obviously, we are making more profits from selling chocolate chips. Now, let's look at the next one. The next one changes everything for us now. Let's check the one that the second highest selling product is sugar. People buy sugar a whole lot. If they come to buy chocolate chips and there's no chocolate chip, they'll just buy sugar. So for them buying more sugar, does it amount to more revenue? They're selling a lot of sugar. So let's check the revenue. You can see that the second highest revenue is not even sugar. It is white chocolate, something. So it means that the fact that we're selling a lot of sugar, maybe the sugar, there's no profit in it, or there is the price is small, maybe sugar is 1 naira, while this chocolate chip is maybe 100 naira each. So in terms of units sold, we are selling more sugar than this white McDonald, whatever. So, but then we are getting more sales for this one, but we are getting more revenue from this one. So this is a simple analysis. I don't know, I don't want to confuse you anyway. So seeing the fact that you're having more sales doesn't mean you're making more money or making more profit. Okay? I don't know if you understand me, guys. So we now have our profits column in the table. Please, does anyone understand how I added the profit table? Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I understand.
Let's add one more table, and I would like you to assist me in adding that table. Let me start by adding the table name. Then you're going to tell me how to fill in that table. Column, sorry, column. I'm talking about column, not table. So this is the table. Let me name it so that you now have an idea of what to do. The name of this is going to be order. So what we want to do is we want to check this profit column and know that anyone that we made up to $1,000 profit, we say that yes, we'll have high profits in that one. Anyone that's below 1,000, we'll say it is low profit. So that at a glance, we can be able to know that, okay, these are the ones that give us high profits. Those that we are profiting up to $1,000 from their transaction. So here, what we're going to have here is just high, low, high, low, high, low. Because to check this profit column and see if it is up to 1,000. If it is up to 1,000, you say high. If it's not up to 1,000, it will say low, right? So what is going to be the name of this column? Is it other statuses, whether it's high or low? Mm, Other statuses.
Yeah, other status.
Yeah?
I said other status.
Other status.
Status.
Thank you. Other status. Thank you very much. So this is going to be other status. Good. So now let's write the formula to do that. Who can help us? Who can append? So one is to check this column. If it is up to 1,000, say high. If it is less than 1,000, say low. Can anybody try? Let's
Maybe.
Okay, Precious, go on.
Mhm.
Hmm?
Maybe equal to column, abi?
Equal to, putting equal to here. So you remember when we did this in Excel, we called it conditional something something. We are going to say um if we're going to use if here. Use if. This is if. Select it. So how does if work? Now I've not finished now. You people just ended it. So how does if work? If is you give it a condition, then if the condition is true, we tell you what to do. If the condition is wrong, we tell you what to do. So the first thing is to give it condition. And the condition is the profits column. Go to profits column. So we'll say profits. Check if profit is greater than 1,000, comma. So now look at this IntelliSense. It has IntelliSense as you're putting if. It is telling you what to do. Let me go back again so that you observe that IntelliSense. It will guide you. All right. So once I put if, I enter it. You can see the intelligence is out. Checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if true and another value if it is false. So it is now telling me that I need to put a logic. So the logic here is check the profits, go to this other table, go to profits, and check if it is 1,000. So I'll start with the, just type profits, you see. Then check this profits, then the greater than sign, if it is equals to 100. Then you're still in the logic part. You say, once you're done with your logic, put a comma. Then I'll put a comma. It will tell me the next thing to do, results, if true. So if it is true, what should it say? Just put this one, say hi, then you close it. Remember, you see, I put it in a code because it's a text. I didn't put the 1,000 in a code because it's number. So I'm going to put, it's not telling me to put a comma once I've put in what should happen if this is true. Then I'll put comma. It will not tell me the next thing to do. What if it is wrong? I'll put what? Low. Good. So let's test our, so I'm going to close each bracket you open, make sure you close it. Look at this one bracket, it's only one bracket, then I'll close it. Once I hit on enter, it's going to calculate. It's calculating it. See, it has updated it. It will check this one. 876 is not 1,000, therefore it's low. This is even above 1,000. See, 7,000, 4,000, 6, all high until they go to this person. See, all low. So this can help us to know how many customers are we profiting from and all that. How many customers can we reward? Because when you are sending gifts to your customers, you have to check their transaction and make sure that you made enough profit from them before you're giving out a part of that profit in terms of gifts. So you can now see we have two more columns, which is the order status column and then the profits column. All right. So is there any question? Anybody confused? So that's it about that.
Hello, Chris. I was about typing the question, but let me say it out. So, for this order status column now, for instance, what if we want to find out the total number of high and the total number of low? How do we go about it? Yes, the data is large, so we cannot go counting it one after the other.
Total number of high and total number of low. It is here now.
Yeah,
You
that
can
particular
visualize
column.
it. You can visualize it. Just come here and put table.
Okay.
Come here and put table. Then you can just put your other status in the table. You can see high and low. So the high and the low. Now you want to know order, how many orders, sorry, you want to know how many what? How many profits. So you just put profits here. Is it profit? Is it correct? Okay, good. You can see total number of high and total number of low. You can see that already here. Or what's your question again?
Yeah, like I said, that status table, if you want to find out the total number of highs and the total number of lows, I think what you do is presenting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can even visualize it if you want. You can see that will have more high than low. So you can also just put a data label, turn on data label, and then turn off this, turn off this. So you can see we have 2.6 million high and 0.1 million lows. So we have more, we are making more profits. This is actually showing us that our business is doing well. We don't have, we have just few, even the below 1,000 is still profit, remember. So we are actually doing well in terms of profit. We are making good profit from the business. Any more questions? So now you can see we've created things that were not existing before. We're able to create it and it's now existing. It's now making our work a lot easier. All right. So now just before we go, because I can see it's already time. We still have 30 minutes actually. I was supposed to start the dashboard. I was supposed to do the dashboard today, but I think this DAX is a lot already for you to watch, and so we are going to do everything about dashboard. I just wanted to mention what we call the KPIs in dashboard creation. So the KPIs are usually at a glance, what is like summarizing the entire dashboard at a glance. So you use your card, this card, that's what you use to do it. Then have what usually up to 3 or 4 cards. They will come up like this. Then you can just duplicate it. Okay. Oh, hanging. Okay. So I have it. So we can have about up to four of it. So what are going to be inside these things? At a glance, you want to see figures. I'm still going to repeat this in the next class anyway, because we'll be building an actual dashboard. So you want to see the summary of the entire thing. The first thing you want to see the total profits. We want to know if we are before we even start analyzing data. I want to first of all know if we are profitable. So you can just put the profits here. So at a glance, you can see, oh, we made 2.7 million profits. So from that profit, maybe you want to know how many units were sold to give us that profit. So you can see total units sold. You can just put it here. See? Okay, let's try putting this unit sold here and see the difference. You see the difference? Uh, now this one has 2 cards. This is card. If you put this one, total units sold, it is still correct. 1.13 million. So this is it. And then the next thing I want to also see at a glance is maybe total revenue that was generated. We need to know total revenue that was generated. And then inside that total revenue, we'll know that um, this is not the profit we made. So you see, this makes sense now. We made a total of 4.7 million. Out of the 4.7 million, it is 2.7 million that are profits. It means out of these sales that we made, if you minus this profit, the remaining one, we can use it to restock. That one is the sales that was made. Like this is the gross sales, the total, the net sale. Sorry, this is the net sale and this is the gross profit. I don't know if you're following this logic. Analysis is mostly your brain logic. Because all these tools is just if you don't know it, if you're not a logical person, the tools is useless because you're the one that will tell the tools what to do. So one more thing, let's add one more card. What other card can we what other thing do we need to know? Maybe we want to know uh all the products. How many products are we actually selling? Or maybe how many countries are we selling to customers? How many countries? We already know it's just one country, right? Everything is in the United States. See, it's one country. So it doesn't make sense visualizing that. Maybe you want to show cookie type, how many cookie types, how many products do we have? Can see. So you can change, if it appears like this, then just come here and change it to don't summarize. Okay, I think it's not there. So I'm just going to remove and bring in the card again. So I want to put in cookie types. I wanted to know the number of cookies we'll have. Why is it giving us? So we can change, we're supposed to change it here. Let me see. Don't summarize. So this one is giving us issue. So we can just create a measure. Measure. So products, total products is going to be the sum of key types, key types has worked on it. So let's see. Total products. Let's see the details. Oh, count. This is supposed to be count, not sum, because these things are not numbers. They are the cookie types. Remember, in the cookie types, we have chocolate chip, sugar, this and that, oatmeal raisin. So they are text. So we're supposed to just count them. So this is going to be count. So not sum, it's going to be count. So count is when you want to count numbers. Count A is when you want to count letters, text. We also have row count. Let's try this count first. If it doesn't work, then cookie types, cost per cookie, no. We want to count uh cookie types. We want to count cookie types. Correct. That's gotten it now, 6. So we have only 6 products. I don't know if you guys saw everything that happened here. So I wanted to know how many products we are selling. So this now makes sense. At a glance, even before you start analyzing, you can see that, oh, we made 4 points, almost 5 million naira profits. The CEO will be so happy to know how we made all of this. We are making 2 point something million naira profits. And then the total unit that we sold to make this amount is this. And we have only 6 products. So people kept buying these 6 products and we made all of this money. I think we'll stop here. I don't know. Some of you are tired already. DAX is usually like that. Most people are, it's not easy to understand DAX, okay? So I'll take questions before we go. In case you have any. We'll do dashboard creation from next class. And that will be all. So any questions? Just give me your questions, okay? Okay, that's good. All of you understand everything we did.